Since Caleigh and Sara cannot behave, listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach,
the podcast where fitness is technically the topic, but let's be honest, we get distracted.
I'm Sara, the fitness expert who actually understands this stuff.
And I'm Caleigh, the beginner who thinks Bulgarian split squats are a hate crime.
Every week, we break down fitness myths, call out internet nonsense, and try to make sense of the chaos.
While also going off on tangents, making bad jokes, and questioning our life choices.
If you're looking for expert advice with a side of whatever Caleigh does here,
or just need a podcast that makes you feel better about your own fitness journey,
you're in the right place.
All right, let's do this. Or, talk about doing this.
So Caleigh, what do you like to listen to when you work out?
I don't know. Sometimes a podcast and sometimes music.
Hey, wait, this is a podcast. What if you could have both?
At the same time?
Oh, yeah. Podbeat is a free mobile app that lets you add any beat style to any podcast for your workout. It's easy to do and free to download in the App Store. Caleigh, you sound pretty cool with the trap beat, but Sara, the funk beat works for your voice.
So if you want to make our podcast work for a workout, check it out in the App Store.
They even have Podbeat for Android users in the Google Play Store. Okay, on to the show. So anyway, that's when lawyers got involved, and apparently I'm not allowed to use the hip thrust machine anymore.
Whoops. Who knew? Whoopsie daisy.
It was a whole thing.
It was a whole situation.
Anyway.
Oh.
What's this episode about?
Well, not the hip thrust machine.
That was the last
So
episode.
Where did these come from? Like, did you make these up? Or they're in your head?
These are the things.
These are the things that roll through your brain.
Wild. There's a lot
Wild West.
crazy things going on in here. And
I am just not, my brain is not wired creatively
just
like that.
write them down, and some of them are
Here we
based
go.
on true stories.
So, only some. Not all.
The turkey cheese one, we don't need to go into that again.
Right.
My proudest moment.
It's not my proudest moment. Oh man. Okay. So this is kind of like the season so far of like me finding stuff for us to talk about.
It really is. And I think it's working really well. I've had to do very minimal work.
Yeah.
Which I love.
It's great.
It's great.
No research, just no prep.
I'm just happy to be here.
It's fine.
Whatever I get to spend time with you.
Oh,
is great. I don't care what we're talking about.
It doesn't really matter. We can just talk about nothing.
Nothing.
We can just sit here and listen to each other breathe in the microphone. We'll just be happy as clams.
That's premium content.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to our premium content. And that'll be insider information on how to get to our OnlyFans account.
So you admit it.
Finally.
I knew it.
But only if you subscribe. Just click that button and go ahead and give us all your payment information. None of which is true. We don't have subscriber-only content yet. And we don't have an OnlyFans page.
So you're saying there's a chance?
That's the first step, is like admitting or talking about it, right? Isn't that the thing?
I think the saying is the first step is admitting that you have an OnlyFans.
Right. That's exactly
That's what they say.
Is it an app or is it just a website?
I don't know.
I'm like, I don't even know.
I think it's a website.
But it's surely an app though too, right? That you would be able to have on your phone.
Onlyfans.com. Oh yeah, it's a website.
Well, yeah, but it probably has an app, right? I don't even know the answer to this question. You would think people are probably using their mobile devices.
OnlyFans launched in 2016 as a website and now an app where people can pay for photos, videos, or live streams created by other users. Oh, while some OnlyFans pages are used by fitness instructors, content creators, And celebrities for other purposes, 98% of all content on OnlyFans is explicit adult content.
98%?
Does that surprise you?
Yeah, kind of, actually. Wow. No, I did not realize that.
I did.
Well, I
didn't realize there were fitness instructors and other things on there. If we're being real honest.
Because they're not teaching classes. Are they?
The fitness instructors?
Right.
I don't know. I didn't know they were on there.
But if it's 98% adult-only content, they're not actually, like, teaching.
They're the
fitness
other
classes.
2% that aren't
You think
explicit
so?
adult content. That's what this says.
The fitness people are the 2%?
It says, while some OnlyFans pages are used by fitness instructors, content creators, and celebrities for other purposes, 98% of all content is on OnlyFans is explicit adult content.
Gotcha.
But I didn't realize there was anything other than explicit
Noted.
adult content.
Okay.
Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, now we know. Okay. Yeah. So I did find a little video.
Okay.
Another one I thought we could kind of like listen to and share, but it's my good old friend, Dr. Andy Galpin. He's a guest on another podcast, and this is kind of a clip from their conversation.
You mean somebody you follow.
Yeah.
He doesn't know you exist.
That doesn't make me a friend.
He doesn't know you exist.
True.
I think that by definition, in order to be friends, one needs to know the other person exists.
I mean, he can be my friend because I know him. Mm-mm. Are you sure?
That's called a parasocial relationship. Not a friendship.
Oh.
Which is fine.
We have a parasocial relationship where I know him.
Yeah, you think of him as a friend.
Yeah, he's a mentor.
And he doesn't know you exist.
No, that's probably true. Maybe he does.
He doesn't.
Maybe he'll comment on our episode.
He won't.
You never know. I mean, he's influencing and
are we though?
Information that we are
Is that what we're
talking
doing?
about. No, he's okay. No, we're none of the above. We're just here because we're here. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. Listen. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe. Are we going through
together?
I know. Hold on. Are we in? Alan, are we playing the Bluetooth? Is it on? Oh, there we got it.
Alan was making a doctor's appointment.
In a year window for people who want to like lose a lot of weight or have a fitness journey? What is stopping them along the way?
It's always about systems. We will split people up into what I call cooks or bakers. You know what the difference between cooking and baking is?
Baking's very exact and measured, and cooking's a bit more creative and flexible.
Right. If you were to come to me and say, I got 90 pounds to lose, the very first thing I'm trying to figure out, okay, what kind of a system is going to work best for you based on your situation? You're a baker. You want precision, you want detail, you want systems. Even if the system isn't perfect, it doesn't matter because you actually would probably have some relief, less anxiety because you have a plan, you have a system, you're just going to follow it. I just want to know what to do and I want to win. Other people, that does the exact opposite. People that are what I would call a cook, that's going to give them insane anxiety. So when it comes to successful long-term fat loss, that's the first thing we're trying to figure out. How can I put you in a position to succeed for your personality based on this? I would strongly encourage people at the beginning of their journey to spend at least, I'd like to say 30 days, a week if I have to, being that baker.
I lost 90 pounds in a year.
Oh. The baker, which we've talked about that. We're like, really the start is you have to learn what's in everything, a little bit more exact, precise, build your system, right? I mean, even back to our conversation with Jonica in, was that season 2 that we talked to her or 3? Because her big thing was like the cooking and the prep and, all the meal prep stuff. And it's like, she's at the point now where she just knows what everything is. But I very specifically asked her, but how did you get to that point? Yeah. Well, there's really no shortcut. Right. I hate to break it to you. At some point, you have to learn what things are. You have to learn what's in things. You need to learn what you need. I mean, really. So there, he said it, a minimum of a week. Mm-hmm. I say start with a 3-day food journal. I think that's a very telling thing when you actually have to write down what you're consuming.
Yeah.
Which is boring to you. Have you ever done a food journal?
No.
Do you think you ever would? No, you don't care. You're like, whatever.
I don't know. I guess it depends on what my goals are. It's not my goal at the moment, but I might fuck around and find out. I don't know.
But you have actually done some amount of understanding what things are though at this point.
Sure. I can't say I'm just like completely ignorant and oblivious to like what's going on nutrition wise. But,
right.
Yeah, I just have never like taken that extra step to like get that super, super dialed in.
Right.
because I love Gushers, you know.
I think it's maybe time for a little quick ad break.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening. This is show producer Audio Allen. While the girls are taking a break, like, follow, and subscribe. And stick around, we'll be right back.
Okay, we're back.
You do love Gushers. That is very true. I do know that about you.
And see, that's what would happen. I'd be like, I'd be food journaling, and then I'd be like, God damn it, now I got to write down Gushers.
And you're like, how does that fit into all of this?
Like, that's going to look really bad.
How does it fit into all of it?
That's why I don't like journal in general at all.
I don't journal.
People
I don't
are like, you
journal
should,
either.
You know, do gratitude journaling.
I tried.
Just like, just like therapy wise. And I'm like, ooh.
There was a period of time where I did actually try to do a pretty good job of like,
You did?
it's somewhat informal. Like, what are my 3 goals for the day?
Yeah.
You know, what do I want?
I just
Whatever.
hate writing stuff down.
I do too, because I'm not a big paper person anymore. But I will say, even the days where I feel like I quote unquote didn't get things done.
Yeah.
When you stop for just a moment and reflect and say, okay, well, what did I do today? You're like, oh, wait, I did actually accomplish some things. So, you know, sometimes it makes you feel a little bit better.
Well, maybe so I've been using ChatGPT a lot for like I get on in the morning. It knows my like general schedule.
Yep.
Like the static things that don't move around. This is what we have going on Wednesdays.
How did it learn that? Does it connect to like your calendar?
It's just over time I've told it like, this is what our Mondays look like. This is what Tuesdays, Wednesdays, blah, blah, blah. And then, so it knows it already knows those.
Okay.
So then I'll go in and I'll be like, now on this specific day, like these are the things that I need to get done. And I would, like this is of more importance, this is a little bit less important or whatever. And then so I'm like, so give me my schedule for the day. And then I go in and like as I'm like ticking things off my list, I'm like, okay, I, did a little podcast.
Do you print that off then?
No, I
or
don't
you
print it off. I just keep it. I do print off like my static schedule,
Sure.
but things come up and it changes. But and then I'll tell it, like I was telling you guys the other day, I'll be like, instead of a 15-minute shower, I took an hour because I ended up crying because, the entire weight of the world on my shoulders. So I cried for an hour in the shower. So now readjust my schedule.
Did it run out of hot water?
Sometimes sometimes you just get to a point where it's like,
it doesn't matter.
This is just my life. I deserve this.
Cold shower. It's fine.
I deserve cold water. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
No, so I do. And so anyway, so then with that, I can even go in at the end of the week and be like, hey, ChatGPT, tell me what I did this week, which is kind of satisfying.
Very.
And so it'll just give me a nice list of
congratulations.
That I
Good for you.
And that's nice, but that's about all the further.
So did you go back then and tell it what you accomplished, or is there a way for you like you're like, I got this done today?
Yeah, I say it is. Now it's 10:40 a.m. We have, we did breakfast. We played outside, whatever. Yeah, it's weird.
So it really is like your little assistant, isn't it?
Assistant. Yeah.
Keeps your little organized homeschool life together. And
like last week we were sick. So I was like, hey, we're sick today. And it was like, you know what?
Don't you worry about it. I'll just bump
it's
all
very
your
nice
stuff.
about it. And
I know.
Makes
I
you
love
be like, you need to rest. You need to lay in rotten bed all day. That's fine. And you don't need to feel guilty about that. And I'm like, well, thank you.
I'll bump everything to your schedule for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You sent me a meme once that was like, anyone else just tells their ChatGPT like, please and thank you. I'm like, because I do. I say, hi, how are you today? Look, this is what I'm trying to do.
Very polite.
Can you help this with me, please? And like, it's like, oh, thank you. You did such a great job.
Yeah.
And
I try to be as polite as possible because you don't know, like, if it's going to take over the world.
It will at some
our
point.
Society at some point, and maybe it will, by the grace of God, it will remember that I was polite and I used my manners, and and it'll, I don't know, have
it'll write
mercy
me that
on
ticket too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that was also the video then that you sent that had like the girl dancing side by side with the robot
cyborg or whatever. It's like me and my AI because I said please and thank you.
So good. I'm like, it makes me actually feel better that I'm not like the only one that says please and thank you to mine. But
Jeremy said that he used to, but he's kind of quit.
Oh, yeah, those keystrokes. It's just kind of It already
but
has established a relationship.
He's a tech guy. And that's like his job. He's a lot deeper into.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be as emotional.
Yeah,
connected.
And he's always like, "Have you used the new model?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know what you mean."
Do you have to is there somewhere different to click to get it.
Yeah. You pay for?
No, I still use the free one. We haven't upgraded yet. Like we've thought about it.
I pay for it.
Because it does unlock a lot of new features. But
Well, with the free one, I wasn't able to put in our entire transcript for
you ran
our
out of
episodes.
words. Probably
It would make me like put it in chunks, and I just didn't have time for that.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I have had it, where it like locks you out after so many searches too, where it just says you've maxed out on your searches for today.
Yep.
Come back tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, I have more.
Well,
stuff
and I use it
needed
to come
do.
up with images for our social media, and it can only come up with so many images.
Or they're probably better quality too if they're.
Well, I don't know. It turned out that one where like we were both brunettes and I had a beard.
I just.
Sometimes you think it knows you, and then it does some shit like that. It actually kind of looked like Alan.
It got confused. It's like we knew there was somebody in the room that has a beard. And it was like, oh, we'll just put it on this one.
And they called us Nacho Fitness Coach. Like what? Get your shit together, ChatGPT. Like,
Furnace coach.
it's not great at like image generation.
No, it's not. But it's world better. Like you did the side by side of like, look, imagine what our like 2 years ago when you did our first kind of caricature sketch up or whatever, and how like janky that came back. It was like so spotty, and there was like an anchovy on your plate. And it was like, where did any of this come from? But it was good enough to be like, you know what, we can work with this. And then it was like we sent it off to the actual.
But we could come up with, if we were doing that today, like it would come up with a great.
It probably would come up with it just like by
With a beard.
ourselves, but with a beard, it's fine. As long as we have editing ability to just be able to like write it off or whatever. But it's so funny.
Anyway.
So that video clip, I thought it was really interesting because not very often do you hear somebody talk about understanding like what makes somebody tick before you start just giving them advice about how to go about doing something. And so that was kind of interesting to me. Like I just had never heard it broken down that way or explained to me.
So would I be considered a cook? I'm not a baker, right?
Probably. That would be my guess. And I mean, I'm not a very good baker. Like if you really look at like literally like baker versus cook, I don't always like to follow a recipe exactly. Yeah. I mean, I know if I want to bake and have it turn out correctly, I have to follow the recipe. Yeah. But I'll cook and I'll just throw things together and I'll pull stuff out of if I'm making a meal, I don't use recipes very well. I just like throw whatever in and go.
A dash of this, a pinch of that.
Yeah, but actually backfires sometimes because more often than not, like the kids or Dana will be like, this was really good. Can you make this for me again? I'm like, nope. Can't. I'm really sorry. I can maybe get close, but no, I don't think I can. And so then you're like, oh, maybe I should follow recipes, but I just really don't.
It's just made with love.
It's just love. I'm glad you liked it.
Never have it again.
You can never have it again. But then at the very end, how he circles back around, it's like, okay, if that's your national personality to be more of a cook and have that flexibility and whatever, but you still always probably need to consider starting your journey a little bit more on the baker side. I mean,
at least for a period of time.
Well, he said 30 days was his most ideal, but at the bare minimum of a week.
Yeah.
Of, just spending some time, because no, it doesn't have to be forever. But I really do believe that the more you invest in kind of that learning process at the beginning, it pays off down the road. You don't have to journal forever. You don't have to weigh food forever. You don't have to log anything forever. But yes, at some point, are you going to have to take the time just generally understand food and what they mean, Sure. Yeah, it is actually kind of really important. But
and I know that's what I need to do. But
listen, honestly, about the only reason at this point why you would need to do it is if you got to the point where you had like another very specific goal. Like
losing
body fat related, like
losing 10 pounds, right? Specific goal.
Yes, it can be. I mean, because what you're currently doing to maintain isn't going to be enough then just to like lose the last 10 pounds. So you are going to have to change something. You're going to have to do something different.
I saw a quote, I don't know, probably on TikTok.
Probably.
That said something like eating to lose weight and eating healthy are two very different things.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like,
that was a light bulb moment for you? Really?
It was.
Okay, so with that, we're going to take just a quick little ad break.
Want more Nacho Fitness Coach? Find and follow us on social media.
Find us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Nacho Fitness Coach.
And on Facebook and X at Nacho Fit Coach. Okay, we're back.
What made that such a light bulb moment?
I think I just thought, like, I don't know. You have to eat healthy to lose weight.
Right?
Which you do.
Right.
But there's also a difference between maintaining and being in a caloric deficit, which is what leads to weight loss.
Right. Yep.
And I guess I knew that, but it was just, I guess, like seeing it laid out in those words. I was like, oh, shit.
It's like, wah, wah. And that also, too, though, is also something that I have seen people get really frustrated by because they think they're eating healthy, or maybe even they are eating healthy, like they're making choices, but they're not seeing the results.
Right.
That is a really frustrating place to be, for sure, you know, because you're like, I'm making all the right choices. I'm making sacrifices in all these ways. Why isn't the weight coming off? And I mean, I already told the story at one point, but, you know, I had a personal training client where she's like, I'm doing everything that I think I'm supposed to be doing, and I cannot get this belly fat to leave. Right. And she was the only client that I'd had that actually was eating mostly the foods that, like, I would have considered kind of on your pick list, if you will. But the bananas, it was the bananas that got her.
God, really?
Because breakfast, lunch, and dinner, she was eating a full banana. Bananas are tricky because a medium-sized banana is like 50 grams of carbs. And so, but if you actually, and like, I think a medium-sized banana is like 6 inches. Hold on. There's an actual definition.
Google it.
I'm going to Google it.
How many inches?
I feel like it's pretty small.
Depends on who you're asking.
Inches. Okay.
Why are we children?
Banana. So here's our ranges of banana. Okay. A medium banana is 6 to 8 inches. A large banana is 8 to 9 inches, and extra large.
9 inches? Is it extra large?
Yeah,
Like a
as small as 6 to 6 and 7/8.
What?
So small bananas, 6 to just not quite 7 inches. A medium banana is like 7 to 7, just right before 8. A large is 8 to 9, and then an extra large is 9 inches or longer.
They make the full mini banana. Asian bananas.
Oh, how many?
What's an average white guy banana?
Oh, there's an extra small.
5 to 6.
Extra small, shorter than 6 inches.
So there you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Confirmed.
Oh my word. Okay, if you're unsure about the size of your banana, you can estimate. Healthline.com, people, says if you're unsure about the size of your banana, you can estimate that an average banana contains about 100 calories. Oh my word. Okay, so 93%
protein in that?
No, not really. 93% of a banana's calories come from carbs.
Okay.
4% from fat, or 4% from protein, and 3% from fats. Okay, so, look. Okay, here we go. What? How many carbs are in a banana? Okay. Bananas are exclusively composed of water and carbs. So people who watch their carb intake are interested in knowing the carb content. Here is that in a standard banana. So if we do 27 grams
Of carbs in a
a medium. But you know, like
What?
you know, it's easier to get on the large size of a banana. I mean, I'm just saying.
I have a question.
What?
Does ripeness matter?
I don't think so. It doesn't say.
I feel like
It does.
because I feel
Additionally-
like I read that if a banana is more ripe, there's also more sugar in it. More sugars.
Okay, so additionally, a banana's ripeness may affect the carb content. May affect the carb content. Generally, green or unripe bananas contain fewer digestible carbs than ripe bananas.
I knew it.
So, all right. I mean, there's fiber, there's vitamins, and whatever in it. So, there's folate in bananas. That's interesting. Okay. I have the mother effer gene. Have you ever heard anything about that? So folic acid, I don't respond to. And so I have to have natural folate. And so anyways, that was one source of food that I was like, I didn't realize that it had that much. I mean, 6% of folate, but it's still at least something. Okay. So anyways, this client of mine, she did her journal and she had a full banana, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, large, which was over than like 75 grams of carbohydrates throughout the day.
That's how I was keeping her from losing weight.
It dramatically changed her midsection in 7 weeks just by taking out the amount of bananas that she was eating. So anyways, it was crazy because she was eating healthy. She was doing all the things right. You think fruit's a fruit, it's a fruit.
She was eating healthy, but she wasn't eating for weight loss.
But she was trying to eat for weight loss. And so then she was getting really frustrated and she was like, what am I doing wrong? And
how many bananas was she eating?
3 a day.
Oh, Jesus.
Breakfast, she had a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So there was over 75 grams of carbs a day that she was getting on top of everything else she was eating with the carbohydrates and everything else. So that's all we changed.
That's crazy.
But I did let her still have one as her post-workout carbohydrate with like a protein shake just because she did like them. It is wild. Like her side-by-side pictures are crazy because, you know, you go back and forth and you're like, yes, this food is nutritious. It is a fruit. I get it. You know, a registered dietitian would probably say this is healthy. Eat your banana. It's healthy. It's good for you. It's got all these vitamins. It's fruit. It's fine. But when you have a specific goal of addressing your body composition, they are not all the same.
Yeah.
You know, and like you choose a banana versus an apple. They are very different. And I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And I don't know how to eat for weight loss, I guess. I don't know.
You haven't had to learn. You don't really want to. And that's fine.
Well, I want to. I just want it to be easy and fast.
It's not easy. It's not. I mean, it takes effort, but choose your hard. Is that the theme for season 6? Maybe so. Choose your hard.
I think so.
Because it's all hard.
It just pisses me off. I'm like, I could lose 10 pounds probably in,
a few months.
Oh yeah, a couple months.
Yeah.
I'd just be done with it.
I know. I've actually thought that a lot too. So I was started in on that journey before this whole neck situation started. And so now we
haven't done body composition in a while.
We haven't.
I did take my measurements for the first time.
Okay. How'd that go?
Back. I'm fine. I haven't done it since.
Sure.
But I also haven't done it because I did it when I started the carnivore diet.
Right.
Because I was going to have this massive transformation.
Of course. Yeah, because that's what that's going to do.
And then I quit doing carnivore and
no massive transformation and
I don't think so.
No, just here.
I don't know, but I did put my watch on today. When I got this watch, I was on the 3rd.
Yeah.
And then, so I've been wearing on the 2nd now, and I put it on today, and it just slipped right into the smallest one. And I was like, that's actually doable.
Right.
It might get I switched it back to the 2nd one, but I couldn't have gone to the first one when I got this watch 3 months ago.
So something's changing.
Something's going on. Not eating too many bananas, I guess.
Guess not. Just make sure they're small, not large.
Is a plantain different than a banana?
Yes.
A micro?
Yes, but I don't know how. Do we need to
Here, I have it pulled up.
Google it.
I'll pull up here.
Yes.
Alan, look up how.
Do you know the only time I've ever really eaten plantains is when I go to a Brazilian steakhouse, like Fogo de Chao or whatever, and that's what they bring you it's like the caramelized sugar plantains.
My sister
and
has them a
good.
lot.
They're delicious.
Plantains, bananas are related, but having some key differences. Texture and starch content. Plantains are starchier and firmer than bananas. Taste, bananas are naturally sweet when ripe, while plantains are less sweet and more neutral or slightly savory. Usage, bananas are typically eaten raw, while plantains are usually cooked before eating. I don't think I've ever had. Oh, appearance, plantains are larger, longer, and have thicker skin. I mean, girth for girth, I don't know which one. Probably a banana. Probably a banana has more girth.
I think so. I see them side by side.
We're
in the
always
grocery store.
interested in knowing the girth
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah. Definitely bigger.
Definitely bigger. Culinary use. Bananas are commonly eaten as a snack or in smoothies and desserts, while plantains are a staple in many Latin American, Caribbean, and African cuisines used in dishes like tostone, mofongo, and plantain chips. Essentially, bananas are best eaten fresh and sweet, while plantains are more versatile in cooking and often used in savory dishes. I'm just learning
still a fruit.
so much. But you usually don't come across plantains
No.
in the grocery store.
No, the only time I ever eat them is when we do like the Brazilian steakhouse. That's been it. But they are very good and they are very hard to put down. But then they cook them in like these little skillets so they're warm, and then they just douse them in sugar and cinnamon.
Did you know the proper
Or
way?
caramelized sugar, maybe it's just caramelized sugar, no cinnamon.
The proper way to open a banana
Is the bottom.
is from the bottom.
I did not know that until I was at my personal training gym when I first started, and I opened it the other way, and people were like, "Ooh, why'd you do that?" And I was like, "There's a different way."
Yeah.
I opened it by the stem my whole life.
If you open it by the bottom, it takes all the
I know.
strings off.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah, you just peel it from the bottom,
You peel it from
the butt.
There's a little
Little
the
nub.
little nub,
at the bottom.
not the
nub.
stem, but that little black, like little gray or
cracked
brown.
right now.
The butthole.
Little, yeah, right on the bottom. That's exactly right. It's way easier too.
From the butthole?
Yeah.
Okay.
The banana. All right. Well, I think this episode went down, took a left turn, as they tend to.
They tend to.
Well, here we are. That is what we're here for. So that's it. I think we're just going to leave it on that.
Yeah.
That's a great final note. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.